pain is one of the most misunderstood experiences in the human journey. Whenever it enters our lives, our first reaction is to resist it, to escape from it, to ask, why me? We see pain as punishment, as something unfair, as something that should not exist in the life of a person who tries to do good. Yet the truth is far deeper. Pain, when seen with the right eyes, is not here to destroy us. It is here to shape us, to awaken us, to guide us. Pain is not the enemy, it is the messenger. And the message it carries is essential for the growth of the soul. Every tear you have shed has been recorded. Every sleepless night, every silent cry, every moment you thought no one could understand. None of it is wasted. Pain carries within it a hidden wisdom, a lesson that no book can teach, no teacher can fully explain, no words can entirely capture. It is the language of transformation. When you look at the strongest trees in the forest, the ones that stand unshaken when storms rage, you will notice something. They have roots that run deep into the ground. But those roots did not grow deep in easy times. They grew deeper because the storms forced them to. In the same way, your soul grows its roots not in seasons of comfort, but in the seasons of hardship. Pain pushes you to anchor yourself more deeply, to search for strength within that you did not even know existed. Without the storm, the roots would remain shallow. Without pain, the spirit would remain untested. Pain has the power to strip away illusions. It tears down the walls of pride, of ego, of false certainty. It reveals to us how fragile we are, how limited our strength is, and at the same time, how limitless the divine support is when we surrender. In pain, we come face to face with our weakness. But in that weakness, if we open our hearts, we also come face to face with God's strength. Pain teaches humility. It whispers to us, you are not in control of everything. There is something greater guiding your steps. So many times people ask, why does God allow suffering? But have you ever asked, what is God trying to teach me through this? The shift in the question opens a new doorway. When we stop resisting and start listening, pain transforms from a curse into a compass. It points us towards growth, towards patience, towards compassion. It teaches us endurance not by theory, but by practice. And endurance, once learned, becomes the foundation of unshakable faith. Think of the moments in your life when you grew the most. They were rarely the moments of ease. Growth does not happen when everything is perfect, when life is comfortable. Growth happens when life presses against you, when everything seems to be falling apart. In those moments, something inside of you stretches, expands, awakens. That expansion is painful, yes, but it is necessary. Just as muscles grow stronger only by tearing and repairing, the soul grows wiser through the very wounds it endures. Pain also makes us more human. Without it, we would be cold, untouched, unfeeling. But when you have walked through the fire of your own suffering, you develop a heart that can understand the suffering of others. You no longer dismiss their tears, you feel them. You no longer judge their struggles, you recognize them. Pain gives birth to compassion, and compassion is the highest form of wisdom. Do you see how pain refines? A piece of gold, if it wishes to shine, must first pass through fire. The fire does not destroy the gold, It only burns away what is not pure. The same is true of you. Pain burns away the arrogance, the illusions, the attachments that keep you from your truest self. And when the fire has passed, what remains is something radiant, something unbreakable. Sometimes pain does not make sense when you are inside it. It feels like chaos, like meaningless suffering. But later, when you look back, you realize that the very thing you thought would break you actually built you. The heartbreak that shattered you taught you the depth of love. The loss that emptied you made space for new beginnings. The failure that humiliated you gave birth to resilience. Pain, in its moment, is a mystery. But over time, it reveals itself as a teacher. And yet, the lessons pain teaches are not forced. You must choose to listen. Many people allow pain to harden them, to fill them with bitterness, to close their hearts. But if you allow pain to soften you, to humble you, to open your heart wider, then you have learned its purpose. The same fire that melts wax hardens clay. The difference lies in how you respond. Do not run away from pain. Do not numb it, distract yourself from it, or pretend it does not exist. Sit with it. Listen to it. Ask it what it has come to teach you. In that listening, you will hear a voice deeper than your own. You will hear the whisper of God guiding you towards a higher path. Life will break you. That is not a threat, but a promise. No one walks through this existence untouched. But when you are broken, remember this: brokenness is not the end. It is the beginning of becoming. The seed must break for the plant to emerge. The shell must crack for the bird to fly. The old self must shatter for the new self to rise. Pain is the breaking that makes room for becoming. When you see pain as a teacher, you stop asking for a life without suffering. Instead, you ask for the strength to walk through suffering with dignity, with faith, with awareness. You begin to see that every trial is also a training, every hardship is a hidden preparation for something greater. The path of pain is the path of awakening. Some wounds will not heal quickly. Some losses will stay with you for years. But even those long-lasting pains carry within them a slow, steady wisdom. They remind you of love, of what matters, of what cannot be taken for granted. And sometimes the scar that remains becomes a testimony, a silent story that speaks to others who are suffering. I have been there. I survived, and you will too. Even silence born from pain has its lesson. When words fail, when you can no longer explain what you feel, silence becomes the sanctuary where the soul learns to listen more deeply. Pain teaches you to pray, not always with words, but with the raw cry of the heart. And such prayers, unspoken yet felt, rise with a purity unmatched by anything else. So, the next time pain enters your life, resist the temptation to see it only as cruelty. Instead, see it as a doorway. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? What is this fire burning away? What new strength is being born inside me? The answers will not always come immediately. But if you keep walking, keep enduring, keep trusting, you will one day look back and realize that pain was never your enemy. It was your teacher. And the greatest teachers are often the most difficult ones. They do not flatter you. They do not make things easy. They demand effort. They demand surrender. They demand transformation. Pain is such a teacher. It does not ask politely. It enters uninvited, but if you accept its presence, it leaves behind wisdom, compassion, and strength that no easy path could ever provide. Pain humbles you before God. It makes you realize that control is an illusion. No matter how strong, how wise, how prepared you think you are, pain can come and dismantle your plans in an instant. But in that dismantling, it reveals something greater, that you were never meant to carry life alone, that there is a presence greater than your strength, a wisdom beyond your understanding, a love that holds you even in the darkest night. Pain reminds you of that presence. And so, every wound, every struggle, every loss becomes an invitation to trust more deeply, to love more fiercely, to live more authentically, to walk more humbly, to remember that life is not about avoiding suffering, but about allowing suffering to shape you into who you are meant to become. Pain teaches patience. It teaches endurance. It teaches surrender. It teaches empathy. It teaches perspective. It teaches gratitude for the smallest joys, the moments of peace, the breaths that are not heavy with sorrow. Pain teaches you to notice life, because when life has hurt you deeply, even the smallest kindness, the smallest joy shines brighter than ever before. And so pain is never wasted. It is not random. It is not meaningless. And it is not without purpose. It is the fire through which we are refined, the storm through which our roots grow deeper, the breaking through which new life is born. What feels like an end is often the beginning of something greater. What feels like loss is often the clearing for a new gift to enter. What feels unbearable in the moment is often the very thing that strengthens us for the path ahead. To walk with pain is not to be defeated, but to be taught, to be shaped, to be prepared. And when we embrace it as a teacher, we discover that even in suffering there is guidance, even in tears there is wisdom, and even in the silence of despair there is the quiet presence of God leading us onward.